What's the dumbest thing you were paid to do, and how much were you paid? Got paid 10k to leave an apartment because it was sold and new owner wanted to move in. I was tenant, renter, under previous owner. I had 4 months left in my rental contract. This was in Spain, Barcelona. $5 first day of grade 5. A kid looks at me, asks to borrow my sharpener for $5. I say go ahead and keep it. At that point I found it outside as is. He says no, I just want to borrow it, and hands me a $5, sharpens his pencil, and gives me the sharpener. Thanks 5th grade bro, that was good money. I got paid $1,000 to have giant balloons attached to me and hand out temporary tattoos of Fox animated shows, Family Guy, Bob's Burgers, etc. at Comic Con for 3 days. When I was 19, I met an heiress. I think she was in her 50s. She paid me $20 an hour to go to lunch with her. She would take me to 5-star restaurants and we would shoot the shit for 1 to 2 hours every week. That is literally all she wanted from me, to sit and eat lunch with her at a fancy restaurant. It was nice. I was poor, so that extra 20 to 40 bucks a week made a big difference, and I got to eat some of the best food in Houston. She was a nice lady. I taught her how to pump her own gas and took her to a grocery store for the first time in her life. She taught me proper table manners and that not all rich people are narcissistic jerks. I did an event for a National Association for Deaf People at which they did every presentation in ASL. I'm an audio engineer who specializes in live sound and concerts. I did nothing for 5 days of show, $450 a day. I rented my chicken to a photographer for 50 bucks. I was paid to be a kind of server for a fancy outdoor dinner party. They wanted me to go around with a plate of drinks and food and offer it to people. When I get there they tell me the person they hired to cook on the grill never showed, so they wanted me to make that my priority, but I told them I didn't know how to grill anything. I was 17. The woman told me to look helpless and some man would come do it. Every man thinks he's the grill master and wants to show off. So I did, and it worked. I basically got paid to stand next to this guy and thank him every so often, and get him drinks. I got paid over $100 for just a few hours. It was pretty awesome. I'm an engineer and I used to work for a consulting firm. One of our clients wanted us to build them a weather station on one of their sites. We sent them the spec for how to do the base. These towers sit on a concrete base and have guy wires that also need to be anchored to the ground, and the client was like, we'd really rather you just did the whole thing. So my coworker, a scientist, and I had to do all the work ourselves. Dig the holes, build the forms, mix concrete in a wheelbarrow and pour it, finish it, etc. We were both billed out at $150 an hour to do work that laborers could have done for half that, and the laborers almost certainly would have done a better job. $175 to do some kind of user study at Netflix. I show up in the lobby and then they go, actually we got the data we needed from the studies earlier today. You're free to go. Still got paid. Some 20 something years ago, I was 16 and working for a startup pizza place. The owners had no idea what they were doing in the beginning. They just wanted to sell pizzas. Went on to become a major chain, making the owners pretty wealthy. This takes place in Europe. So, I delivered pizza. There was a fee of the equivalent of $4 for each pizza, plus tips. Well, there was a lot of demand, and it was a small place, so you could deliver multiple pizzas within a 15-minute period. So, on busy nights I could make $50 an hour. Sometimes more. LO vertical bar. After a year or so, the owners figured out that the delivery boys were making more money than them and changed it to $10 an hour, which is not bad, but most of us quit anyways. Still to this day one of the better paying jobs I have ever had. I used to work for a PR agency. Every month one of our clients wanted a handful of photos resized for their website. Nothing fancy, just setting the width to 500px in Windows Photo Manager. It was maybe 10 minutes of work every month, But the contract said the minimum amount of time we would charge them for was 1 day, and this was for the full team too, not just me. It must have cost them several £100 every month. I showed the client how to do it several times and explained that they could save a lot of money doing it themselves. They didn't seem to mind. In the end I made sure I got it in writing that I'd informed them of their options and let them get on with it. For work I got an well expenses paid trip to Florida just to plug in an HDMI came in a conference booth. I literally expensed my meals at Walt Disney World since I was on call in case they needed me to unplug and replug in the HDMI cable. Not quite as impressive as my cousin's husband. He did a lot of engineering work over in China. He came back to North America. Not 20 minutes after landing, while still in the terminal, his client from China called him saying one part of the machine wasn't starting. My cousin's husband said, well, just try resetting this switch on the diagram. They said, no, we want you to come and do it. So he hopped back on the next plane to China. Reset the one switch he told them to. The machine turned on. They were extremely grateful. He sent them a bill of $10,000 plus expenses, and they didn't care. I was flown to Paris to do a compliance audit. The systems weren't set up for the audit. Couldn't get access, so spent the week being taken to restaurants and shopping. On one of the days, and at the last minute, the company decided to send me into London for a meeting, literally just to meet people. I missed the Eurostar because I forgot my passport, totally blanked that I was entering another country. They had to rebook the Eurostar. Nothing was achieved out of this trip. No audit was completed. Nothing came of the meeting. The cost to the company $25,000 plus for me to do nothing for a week. Corporate money is ridiculous money. Waiter said it was impossible to lick your elbow. I informed him I could do it. He bet me $5 I could not do it. I increased my net worth by $5. I was paid $300 to move my car for a movie that was filming by my apartment. Got paid $300 to shovel my neighbor's front steps and driveway while she was away on vacation all winter. It did not even flurry once. My friend asked me to clean out his guinea pig cage because he couldn't be bothered that day. In payment he gave me his copy of Zoo Tycoon 2 for PC. Edit. Thank you very much for the awards. 25 years ago, and in Indiana, the law was that, in order to operate nail salon, someone there must hold a full cosmetology license, not just a nail technician license. A nail salon opened next to the hair salon I worked at, and they all held nail technician licenses, and the one who held a cosmetology license would be delayed in career for a week for whatever reason. At 18 years old, I was paid $25 an hour merely to sit in the nail salon as the era holder of the license, who I answered no phones, tended to no clients, did nothing but paint my own nails repeatedly, and watch TV for an entire week. Was a sweet gig. I got asked to do 2 hours of barrier watch, guarding a barrier ribbon, while a crew did x-rays inside a power plant. This was asked last minute after a 12-hour shift, so the bonuses of staying happening to be a Sunday, etc. I was being paid $110 to stand and play on my phone and make sure nobody tried to pass all the do not enter danger signs during a time of day with minimal personnel. $1,325. The guy wanted a drawing of his pony having sex with a bunch of balloons shaped like various cartoon characters in a massive collage. My rate charges per character per fetish, and he came to me fully prepared to dump $1,500 on the complete commission, after adding it all up himself. I gave him a discount, since even I felt like it was insanity. I probably should have charged the full amount, since it did end up taking me 2 weeks to do on and off just from burnout at drawing the same style balloon over and over, just in different shapes, but that was definitely the most silly/dumb commission I've ever had, or at least the most I've been commissioned for something dumb/silly. Okay, this wasn't a job or anything, but I got $10 to eat half a watermelon. I was paid $100 per week to check on my university professor's guinea pig while she was on sabbatical in another country for 2 months. I had to go in each day and check on it and take care of it. Instructions were to buy it organic romaine lettuce and baby carrots to eat, clean the cage once a week, and the best part, I had to give it his wrapped Christmas gifts on Christmas Eve, open them in front of him, and take pictures of him with his new toys and treats to send to the professor. Got paid $40,000 to not show up at work. It was the financial crisis and there was a hiring freeze right before I was due to start work. The company I was to work for couldn't honor the employment contract we signed, but it was all very sudden and my would-be bosses felt bad enough about the situation that they offered me half a year's salary as a gesture of goodwill. I was paid $50 to assemble some brand new gym equipment for a friend because her husband had been dragging his feet for months. I opened up the box, pulled it out, and made the easiest $50 of my life because it was pre-assembled. I just took 10 seconds to unfold it and was done. She was furious with her husband and still paid me to spite him. Edit. Dang, this blew up. Alright, time to answer the question on everyone's mind. Why didn't she do it herself? She was in her 50s and had a bad back. It was one of those inverted back stretcher things to help relieve pain. The husband was 100% the bad guy in this case. Hang a TV, then make sure that TV worked the following day, and then take the TV down the day after. Made $1K